So we're just on Virgo here, and so we talked about Leo and what's given attention to grows, good thoughts versus bad thoughts towards yourself. As we get to this phase, this is talking about good thoughts versus bad thoughts towards other people, towards people around you. This is benevolent thoughts versus hurtful thoughts of people around. Um, as people grow, they begin to realize that they're only happy when other people are at least, at a neutral to happy zone, and not happy the more pain you see a person in. That's, we can't be happy, not when we're at our higher vibration. At the darker parts of us, that's when the person is happy seeing people suffer. And that's the low vibration that is always going to hold people in pain until they can reach that higher vibration and be out of that pain. And that's what we hope to do as a human family, raise the vibrations that are in the codes in the DNA, in the spider web that attaches all. And so when we focus on others, and we just know to have good thoughts when you're talking to someone and not bad thoughts when you're talking to them, and not telling them what's on your mind. It's like your mind and your energy going in the same place. And esoterically, the idea of that is, when you see something good about another person or yourself here in Leo, but here we're at Virgo, this is the next step up, is when you see a good thing about another person, energy grows into that. It feeds into that. Magnetically, it just comes to, even if it's a latent ability or something, it becomes alive. Like it's brought energy into it. Magnetically, it becomes. But if there's energy brought into a bad thing, like a bad label of something, and energy is brought into that energy comes alive too. It just kind of brings on a life of its own. The energy and the attention being focused on something, and especially that's why it's important to focus on something with a solution in mind. Whenever we go to anything negative or dark, we always have the solution in mind. And that's what I'm going to talk about after introducing the 12 phases, is just an understanding of light versus dark specifically. And it brings focus to each of these 12 phases. Okay, so the next is Virgo, Libra, 6, 7. Yeah, Libra. The 7th phase has to do with like when a person grows up and starts realizing they're attracted to other people. It's more about the attention phase and getting to know people at that phase, and dealing with the fact that, you think about a person more than you want to, or you want to, depending. It just, it's that phase where the mind can't really stop. It's this massive dopamine. I like this person when I see them or I think about them. There's something interesting. It's crushes. It's puppy love. It's, it's that beginning of, this is the other side. This is going up past the horizon into the 7th house. So this is more about other people, which is all of the ones above the 6th house and up into the upper, I'd say, northern hemisphere, going counterclockwise in the natal. All of those are more about other people. So this is the first one, reaching out to other people, because it's really important to be authentic and tell a person what and how you feel, and not have some dialogue going on in your mind that's different than what you're experiencing outside. This is really has been correlated to a lot of depression too. Not being authentic, holding something inside and portraying something different, scientifically. So not good, always very good to be authentic in experiences with other people. Okay, so then we go up to Scorpio. That's the part of, there's the understanding with Scorpio. There's so much here about like regeneration. Okay, think stagnation and think that's bad, right? So people are afraid of Scorpio and regeneration processes, but what's really bad is stagnation. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and it's about big changes, and really it's just getting rid of the energy that's making things not move. Okay, so it's the breaking down of cells so they can regenerate. It's the death card in the major arcanum. It's but here we're at another level where we're talking about sexuality. this is when people begin to notice they're attracted to that other person, and they, so at this human consciousness, at this phase of Pluto, and it's ruled by Mars, it's very okay, so it's a water sign, so there's this thirst emotionally that can come up with this, but at the same time, it's Mars energy, which is really high testosterone, really need for that gratification. So focus on this and think about Pluto and think about Scorpio right now. It's all about life and death. Of course it is, because it brings life. Sexual energies bring life. But on one side, it's very controlling and it's very lustful, and it doesn't matter who gets hurt in the process. Whereas to get that effect, to get the dopamine and the the effects of dopamine is just one chemical that's really identified in the brain, whereas we know that there's many. But dopamine void of oxytocin, which means the love hormone, um, that's not very lasting. It is not lasting. The person needs more and more of that fix each time. Whereas on the opposite side, it's about sharing and it's about growing together, and there's a connection when you're with another person that is fully respected, and it isn't about how people make it. That's it. There's a problem here in the Scorpio consciousness and humankind. Of course, right now, there's a lot of energies that are pretty intertangled in this area about control and about sexual control and possessiveness and addictions and stagnation, really, when it comes to couples. But okay, so we'll go on to the 10th phase. Wait, the 9th phase. I almost skipped Sagittarius. That's about learning, higher learning, and having. It's like at that point when you open your mind and you want to go outside the boxes and you really want to learn. They kind of associate it with the centaur and going to higher schools, college, and post-grad, and, really, like, scholars. That's considered, think Sagittarius, wanting to know, wanting to learn, wanting to be a teacher and communicate, but really letting go of some of those old principles and old paradigms learned as a younger phase. But just really, I want to reach out, I want to truth seek, I want to know these things, versus the lower consciousness, which is wanting to know so much, but there's really no purpose or goal. For a higher consciousness, it's like I want to learn how to control, dominate. I want to learn how to be a good, good bad person. Okay, whatever. We're gonna go over that in the next one. But anyway, it's the malevolent villain as opposed to the helpful one who would, in the phase of Sagittarius, that's really a little bit all about me. It really is. It's your next fire up, and it's all about fire. I'm talking confidence and chi. It's all kind of me there. Think of a knight in the tarot. It's me, myself, and I. It's I want to have fun. I want to explore the world. I don't really want to be tied down at all, but I just want to be free. Okay, so we can take that to the lower, and we can take that to the higher, where it's okay to be free. Of course, go enjoy yourself and go learn and experience everything that you want to, and do it in a good way. Don't have to lie about it. Don't have to hold anyone down. Don't have to manipulate. But on the other side, we have the, just think of the opposite of that, the lies and the manipulation and the control and what that can bring you. It really locks a person in this place of wanting to learn things that are counterproductive to what's good for him. And you see, when we get to the higher consciousness, all of those things he or she learned are always in alignment with what will bring up his consciousness anyways. So like he wants to go and prove himself egotistically somehow to people. Well, he'll find what it takes to prove himself, and he'll gain a lot of skills in the meantime. So it isn't all bad, but when a person is immature in that consciousness, immature is basically like mental disease, emotional disease. The two are connected. But spiritually, being immature and stunted in that area makes a person, I'd say a person who doesn't want to get out of the house, lives inside the box, doesn't really want to learn new things, stuck in cognitive dissonance, can't really see truth versus untruth, brainwashing versus clarity and logic. the reality, can see things logically and clearly versus distorting facts, you know, believing in lies. Like a lot of people believe in a lot of lies. Yeah, you go around lying to a lot of people, and a lot of people will believe you. It's sad because we see a lot of people believe in lies and believing in liars, and they do. As I was talking to a Hollywood friend today, saying, yeah, if anyone can come to Hollywood and to whatever they want to lie about, they'll be believed many times. It's just true. It's like this world is full of lies. And as we go on into the higher consciousness here in Aquarius, that's when we start really learning, gosh, I better tell the truth, because what's important is collaboration. Because I can't really go around doing any lies or, hurting people if I don't want to be hated on and have these energies and people staying away from me, because they do find out in due time. They understand, their brains connect, they grow, and they get really smart, and they don't like manipulation anymore, and they see it miles before it happens. The humanity is growing to the point where, you can't really manipulate us at this point when we get to Aquarius. But the individual, at that point, you're reaching a higher phase intellectually. This is the next sword, the next mental, intellectual growth here, where you want to learn just so you can collaborate with people. So, everyone can be conscious and everybody can be open-minded. At this point, instead of the closed-minded person versus the higher-minded person, it's like, think of higher-minded as, okay, we can fly now. Like, we can all fly. I can't fly without you. Like, I don't want to be the only one flying over the clouds and worried about what you guys are doing stuck in the clouds. So I definitely want to share my knowledge with you. And I don't want to be stuck in the clouds either. So share your knowledge with me that you have, because none of us wants to be stuck in those clouds. And we can rise above all of it. This is the idea of if you understand the allegorical meaning, that's like a higher consciousness, whereas the lower consciousness is the clouds. Speaking of the clouds, it's the agitated mind and the agitated emotions, and it's painful, and there's always ruminating on dark, painful things, and it's like wanting, like the painful thoughts. Think of the thoughts of, oh, how am I going to get this person? How am I going to stick it to them? I can't stand them. I can't wait for the ability or the moment to jab them or hurt them, because I can't take it. Mind on those things all the time just brings negative feelings, and it puts out from your resonating, think of your swords, your antennas, it just puts out such a dark energy, so that you tune into that, and that's what comes back when we do that. It really lowers us into the consciousness. And I'll talk about lower and higher frequency and consciousness next. After the 12th phase here is Pisces. And I'll introduce that in the next clip here.